Welcome back to the channel, guys. Well, today we're going to be looking at the underneath of this beast. Let's check it out. Alright, so let's have a little bit of a wander around this 61 microbus that I restored back in 2013. It gets driven quite a bit, and you know, it's got there's a bit of dirt. Yeah, it gets driven quite a bit, and you know, it's got stone chips and all the rest of it underneath it on the front and whatever. But you know, we're making these things to drive them, aren't we? We're not keeping them locked away. So what I wanted to focus on today is just showing you guys the air ride system. We're going to just jump underneath and I'm going to show you pretty much what's going on with this thing and what modifications needed to be done to fit it all. So straight off the bat, what you can see here is the front beam, and no torsion tubes inside it. It's actually got a bearing system, so you know, it's still a similar design to the original one, but obviously you can see the airbags. If you flip around here, this might be a better view. You can see the airbags there, one there. These are actually completely deflated, by the way, at the moment. When you jack this thing up off the ground, you need to deflate them before you get it off the ground, just not to put you know, too much strain on the bags and everything. So they're fully deflated. That would obviously be in a complete number 3 full up position the way it is, and then obviously when you do an all down, this section here will be, you know, going right up to the top there. So they're only a single airbag. They're not a dual bag with an internal bump stop in them. So what I had to do to pass engineering in Australia, I had to actually put an external bump stop on them. So if you have a look here, you'll see here, that's the little bump stop here, which is kind of like the factory one, and I just welded it to the side of it. What I've got here is an adjustable spline, so I can actually finite adjust where I wanted this thing to bottom out on. Yeah, what you can see here is the accuair sensor, and you can see how I've gone about mounting that just off a plate. That gives the accuair ECU an idea of what's going on with each corner of the vehicle, and you know, what orientation the ride height is in. So there's a sensor on every corner. The shocks that come with this package are let's show them here, get around, the Spax and they're Spax Crypto gas, I think they're called. Krypton gas, yeah. They've got an adjustability on them, hard and soft. I didn't think much of this. I thought, oh yeah, no, the whole thing's a bit of a joke. But it's amazing how much. When I first took this thing for a drive, I think I had them on the clicks on soft, and it was terrible. Like, the thing was bouncing all over the road. It was hideous. And I cranked them pretty much all the way to almost full stiffness, backed them one notch off, and it completely changed the way the vehicle drove on the road. It was I didn't think that would make such a massive difference, but it has. So drop spindles. So you need to do a drop spindles with this setup. Obviously I've got the disc brake set up on it. So drop spindles, bay window, track rods. What else do we have to do? I actually did modify the dampener, because they are not supplied with a dampener, and I wanted to kind of run that. So I just made my own bracket here, and then you can see there, took this little section here to bring it down a little spacer, and so I got the factory dampener to work with the airbags. And a few people have said to me it wouldn't work, but there it is. It does work, so it's all good. Let's see what else. So drop spindles. That's the shocks on it. Yeah, oh, you do need to, well, obviously tubs. So we'll talk about the tubs in a minute. But this little section up the top here, you have to put a little window into the driver's cabinet to put the air hoses. So that was one thing that we had to do because of just the way the beam mounts in the body. We had to make a little inspection window kind of thing to put the actual hoses through. So the actual air ride hoses is one here, one here. I've just got them completely covered in the wrap. You can see the heater hose that had to get diverted through a flexible hose to go in for the heater box. The heater section at the front here and go up into the cabin. You can see I'm running the booster, the remote booster, like the other buses I've done. Yeah, so that's pretty much the front beam. Oh, the other thing I've done is a steering box raise. Obviously, because this thing does get pretty low, you know, we've done that modification to the chassis rail there for a steering box raise. And then of course we come to the tubs. Now also this beam is only a 3.5 inch narrowed beam. It's not a 4-inch narrowed beam. Actually, I think it might be 2.5. No, I think it's 2.5. Yeah, it's not super narrow. So that's another thing that doesn't like getting past down here. Narrowed beam they get a bit funny about. Anyway, yeah, you can look at it from the outside here and you can see it's not an issue. But narrowed beam or no narrowed beam, it wouldn't have made a difference, just the way I did the tubs in this thing. So if you have a look at it, I've got a 75mm tub, and then I've also done it to the door, and I think we've gone over that in the previous video. So this section here, it just means you've got more clearance up underneath there for the tyre to move, and you're not going to be fouling and bashing into anything. So that's how that works. And then you can see, you know, from the outside you wouldn't even know. So that's pretty much the front end. Now with the rear end, we'll just come down the back here and I'll show you the rear end setup. That's what you've got for your bags. And what I might do is just go and grab the torch. So hang on a sec. Right, there we go. So you can see there, that's the way the rear bag's set up. They're on an arm, and pretty much the arm is similar to a 68 bay window. You do need to use the Creative Engineering horns, which are welded to your rear torsion tube. So this guy here, which is these horns here, that has to be, you have to basically cut your factory horns off and put those ones on, and that's because it has to pick up this location here for the A-arms. So those A-arms come with the kit. Let's get a bit of light here, and you can see there, that's how they look. A little bit of a variation to the European model of this A-arm, and we can't have this shocker hang down to here. So this is a modified version for Australia. The European version, this arm here has a little bit of a little bulb here, and the shock mounts a bit lower down, but it ends up being too close to the road, and the ADRs in Australia don't allow it. So this is the updated version, which means the shock just gets mounted a bit higher up. Again, same thing, bump stop is needed for Australian regs. So you can see up there, I've actually modified where the original bump stop would have been up there. I made my own using this plate here, and then that's the bump stop there, which obviously will contact the A-arm there. And sensor, I've got the sensor just mounted off the plate, off the spring plate off the side, and you can see the sensor up the top up there, tucked. So that's the rear sensor sorted. This cradle is again modified. It's not the original cradle that would have come with the combi. I've actually kept it just in case I do want to ever put this thing back to stock. I can weld the cradle straight back in again. Same with the horns, I've kept the original horns. So the idea is this is the lowest point of the bus right through. And if you actually look from front to back, one of the prerequisites with this bus was to get it dead flat. You know, nothing is sticking out. It's all right through, you know, so that we can get the thing as low as we can and get it legal. So only one problem I've had with these rear arms is they're bent, and they're bent twice on me. And I don't know if you can pick this up on the camera, but I'll just explain it to you. If you look straight down the guts of this guy, you can see that it's cocked like that. It should be here, and it's like that, which means this plate of the airbag is on a downslide angle. Now, I've only ever had, you know, 3 people in this thing, and I think after about 6 months, I noticed this plate was not level to the ground, so it was actually bent like that. I took them off and I welded this plate on top. You can see that there, in order, or to try and combat this bar here from basically tweaking and twisting, and it kind of helped. But I think, you know, 2-3 years down the track, you can actually see that that is not level. So it's still starting to twist. So these A-arms, I need to get them off. I need to get them hot, oxy them, get them straight again, and reinforce them even further. I might even have to put a plate down on the bottom. So unfortunately, the design from the manufacturer is not up to it. It's just not. It just needs to be a stronger piece of metal. And they're both bent on both sides. You can pretty much, I think this one's not too bad. I think that one has stayed. You can see a little bit of a twist in that. You can see it actually starting to twist like this. So that has got a bend in it too. So, I mean, realistically, it's not impeding the performance of the vehicle. It's just, you know, this plate's got a slight angle on it. I mean, the bag doesn't really care, but, you know, when you're paying a shitload of money for one of these kits, you don't want that happening. So, you know, I will fix that at a later date. Now, the thing that you do need to buy for the rear end is the bearing carriers, which are in there. That is 68 bay window as well. So you need to get those. They're starting to get hard to find. That's one part that you will have to supply yourself. I don't think this kit is no longer made. I'm pretty sure if you want to get an air ride kit now, you've got to get it from America. And then, of course, you're going to be running into all the engineering approvals and all that to get it all tested in Australia, which can cost money, quite a bit of money too. So, yeah, I think there's probably only 2 or 3 kits of this kind in Australia. I know of a couple of other ones. I don't know if they're engineered or not. So anyway, that's that for the rear setup. So it's an independent IRS. Obviously, the gearbox is an IRS gearbox. If you can have a look at it in here, you can see there. I've been trying to get this thing clean. It went through a whole lot of mud recently, and it's pretty filthy under here. It used to be immaculate, but now it's dirty. But whatever, you know, we're driving them. So the other little mod I've done under here is I have also put, if you look up the top there, a hydraulic clutches instead of cable, and love it. Works fantastic. Haven't had a problem with it. Yeah, works really well. So that's pretty much the rear end covered. That probably gets you a better idea. Same shockers on the back here, adjustable. I do have an extra module, which is the accuair module, which is that guy just up there. That's the E level. And that's just a Wi-Fi that picks up off your iPhone, so you can remotely change your airbag positioning. I don't think it's a bit of a gimmick, but I bought it anyway just to add to the mayhem. So the setup in here now is 6-7 years old. 2013 was when I put it all together. So the bags have got some little minute cracks going on in the rubber there. I don't think it's anything to worry about, but that's, you know, like I said, I use this all the time, so it's pretty good. What else have I got underneath here? Oh yeah, this guy here is my fan for the demister. So that's just one of these bilge pump fans from a boat. Got off eBay for, I don't know, like 20-30 bucks. And I've just put a bit of sound deadener around it because it was super loud actually. And that works really well. I've got a little switch under the dash that blows a nice lot of hot air up into the window, into the front windows. There's a nice view of the air ride from the back here, looking at the front. You can see the whole thing's just completely level, nice, and everything's tucked up out of the way. So yeah, it works really well. All right, so what we'll do, we'll just pop outside now. Righto, so we've got it back off the hoist, and I'll just show you inside just how I've gone and set up the accuair. I've just put the actual controller, just mounted it underneath there. I did have it sitting up where Jenna is there inside the ashtray, but I just thought it'd be a silly idea if I went to a car show and had the safaris open and someone could just yoink it straight out. So, you know, and they're not cheap, those little units there. So I've just got that mounted out of the way so you don't really see it. And of course you've got your micro switch down on your handbrake lever, just so that you cannot activate it while you're driving. I mean, people, you know, go and put secret switches underneath the dash to combat that, but I think that's a bit of a silly idea, really. Anyway, that's pretty much it for the air ride system. Couple of things I do need to do to it. It has got a leak in the rear bag where the tube, the airline goes into the fitting. It's leaking out of that fitting there, so I need to replace that. I mean, it goes down over, oh geez, probably, you know, 3 or 4 days it'll go down. So to alleviate that, I just put a couple of locks under it like that, so that you know, if it does lose air and I'm not driving it, it's not going to you know, be sitting on the ground and, you know, wrecking the airbags. I do have another set of airbags here, which are these guys, the dual setup, and they have a bump stop internally inside them too. So I might even swap. There's like a 5-inch rise bag. I think they're a Slam specialty, I think, or that's yeah, down the track. So also a dual battery. It just uses a absolute crap load of current when you start the bus up, and the compressors run to life. They just sap the battery so quickly. So I'll show you where I've got that set up. In here under the seat here that's the compressors, 2 Via Air 480 units each, and then you've got your accuair ECU in the middle, and then you've got your tank underneath that. All the tank comes from Air Ride Supplies in Bayswater, and David set me up with all the gear, which was really cool. And yeah, look, it's working fantastic. I've got a couple of silencers so it's not so loud when you're dumping the air out of it. Didn't want it too obnoxious. And yeah, that's pretty much hides underneath the seat just beautifully. Don't really notice it too much, but yeah, definitely needs a second battery. I'm running the Optima yellow tops, and they just, yeah, it just seems like it's really drawing a lot of current. So I might just set up a second battery. I'm not sure how to go about wiring that up, but I'll try and find out. Yeah, any other questions you guys want to know about this setup, yeah, shoot me in a comment, you know, in the comment section, whatever, and yeah, I'll endeavour to try and help you guys out. But in terms of quality of ride, it's good. You know, like I've done a 6-hour drive in it, haven't had a sore back or anything like that. It's actually got a good ride quality to it, so I was pretty happy about that. The tyres I'm running, a few people have asked, they are 175 by 65 by 15. The buses in Australia, pretty much most of them have had 15-inch rims. So I found that's the best balance of not going too big with the rear tyres. They're the same all 4 corners, and they work really well. You know, I didn't need to go any wider than that. I think if you go to a 185 front tyre, that's when you're going to need a 4-inch narrowed beam, and you start to have clearance issues inside the guards. But 175 all around, 65 profile by 15. They're Maxxis. The load rating on those is 88T, and that is a legal load rating for a bus. So anything a lower profile than that, you're going to run into load rating issues. Again, if you want to have this fully engineered and compliant in Australia. I mean, I know heaps of people just slap on any kind of tyre, but that's, you know, that's the way the cookie crumbles with this thing. Cool. All right. Well, that's probably it for me for this video. Yeah, it's been a little bit difficult now with this lockdown. I don't know how long we're going to be in a lockdown for, but I can't get to Paul's to continue on the ute and any other project really. I'm pretty much stuck here at home, so I'll just try and do a few other bits and pieces on these two. You know, Lara's ute's still got a few bits and pieces that need doing. Unfortunately, we've still got a flat spot hesitation, even with that other carburetor. Even though I thought I'd fixed it, it's still got issues. So I've got to start looking at jetting now. I just can't seem to get this second gear hesitation out of it. So yeah, we'll see how we go. But comment away. and you know, if you guys haven't subscribed, I'm almost at 1,000, so click the button. I'm so close. It's just like, you know, and there's a lot of people watching that aren't subscribed, so you know, I'll come and find where you live and smack you on the back of the head. Only kidding. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next video. Cheers.